what is the key to success at being a good leader within your company?
Make yourself redundant. That's if you can make yourself redundant, you've done an excellent job.
So how do you do that?
You obviously empower your staff to make their own mistakes and learn from them, which I'm quite happy for them to do. And when I say make yourself redundant, I think I mean redundant from the day-to-day activities, operationally and administratively and, all that sort of stuff. So I can keep my eyes on the bigger prize and keep sourcing new projects and better ways to do things. And we're not 100% there yet. I think we're still probably, 18 months, 2 years away from being to the point where I'm that redundant. But it's almost daily getting better, So my plan is to be the least important person within the office ultimately.
And you do that by delegating tasks?
Absolutely. Yeah. So delegate tasks, let people make their own mistakes. Obviously coach where necessary, and there's a fair bit of that, surprisingly. Well, I found surprising, I guess, in the early days, how much coaching people need and direction. People actually, 99% of people want to be directed. I always guess the 1%er. I never like being directed, but I guess that's why you own your own business, because you don't want to have someone tell you what to do. Apart from your customers, they tell us what to do all the time. Let them get out there, have their own systems. Don't be too hung up on the way that you would do something. Let them find their own ways of doing something. It's I think it's really classed as micromanaging if you try and get everybody to do everything your way all the time. It's you'll never be able to let go.
True. So you were telling me at one stage about succession planning and how you've organised to have somebody come in and fill your shoes eventually, and how you've arranged succession planning within your workforce as well.
Yeah. So succession planning for that reason is that we just discussed is very important. It's important for me. It's important for our shareholders as well. It's important for our financiers and insurance companies and everybody. They all want to know about succession planning and what you're planning on doing. I just had to go out and get a ridiculous amount of life insurance and key man insurance and all that sort of stuff, because we've got large amounts of borrowings and debt, etc. And a big part of that was them understanding how our succession plan works. So basically, if I get hit by a bust, does the business still survive? And so compared to where we were 2 years ago or 3 years ago, our succession plan is much. We didn't have one 2 or 3 years ago. We do now, and within 18 months, 2 years, I should certainly be able to be hit by a bus, and the company would well and truly survive and more than likely thrive. That's the whole. That's where you need to get to, and I guess that's where you need. When I say you've got to be redundant, it's the business is in such a stable and automatic operational position that it'll just kick on anyway, without you. So, and that's what. Of course, that's what banks and insurance companies and everybody else, that's what they want to hear. So, and it works for everybody.
So what about with training your staff? You were talking about how you have a development plan for your staff as well. You don't want them to be digging holes for the rest of their lives.
No, definitely not. So we really want especially our long-term employees, we want them to be able to move into the the power generation roles and things like that as they come up and be able to just, it's not BHP, it's not like there's some massive corporate ladder to climb or anything, but certainly being able to reward those guys in getting them into less physical roles and getting to use their head a bit more and be a bit more involved with the the ins and outs of the business is our plan. So whatever we can do, we're trying to throw a bit of training around and things like that for people around the place to learn more. We just had a big training week on the power generation units that we use, and we actually just basically shut down the whole business for a week and got everybody in, and everybody did the training on the power generation units, and which sort of gave everybody an inkling into the fact that they're not all going to be digging holes for the rest of their life, that there's other things to do and other more interesting things around. So
which keeps them motivated.
Yeah, it keeps them motivated, and it's certainly something else we've learnt too, and I've learnt is that it's not all about money. You can pay people. You've got to pay. I believe you've got to pay them well, but you can't throw money at people to make them stay or to keep them motivated. It's not money that does it. It's giving them a good work environment, giving them some sort of reward for what they're doing, and it's a personal reward for their, like, look what I've done a good job, I've done this, I've, blah, blah, blah. And for me to turn around and once again, something I wasn't so great at a few years ago, but much better now, is that when someone does a good job, you've got to tell them, not just expect that they know that they've done a good job. You got to give people a cuddle every now and then. So I think cuddling's important. That's what we do.